Good afternoon, all. My name is Dr. Stanley Okoro, and welcome to the 28th ANPA Foundation and ANPA Financial Webinar. This is our 28th webinar since inception. I'm really excited to hear about this topic today. Today, we are discussing investment opportunities at Eko Atlantic City in Lagos, Nigeria. Today's Saturday, September 7th, 2024. Like I said before, this is our 28th ANPA Financial Webinar Series. Before I get started, I do want to talk to you about what ANPA is about. I don't know if our national president is here. He'll be joining us very shortly. Dr. Cliff Eke, are you on yet? He will be joining us very soon. When he comes, we'll give him the audience to introduce ANPA. Before then, let me talk to you about ANPA Foundation. ANPA Foundation is a 501c3 charitable foundation incorporated in 2022 for ANPA. It is a private foundation for ANPA. We are formed for three purposes. One is to raise funds and create financial independence for ANPA via philanthropy, estate planning, and business investments. We are also to create sustainable systems of healthcare in Nigeria and beyond. The third and the final one is to educate ANPA members about personal and business investment, tax strategies, estate planning, multi-generational wealth, legacy, and philanthropy. That's what we're talking about today. We do have, let's see. I'm waiting for Dr. Cliff Eke to join us. While we're waiting for Dr. Cliff, I just want to talk about some of the benefits of ANPA membership. ANPA is a professional organization, so we do have professional development series and opportunities for continuing medical education, leadership opportunity, practice referral, networking, supports in time of need and joy, and of course, one of our legacy programs are medical missions and volunteerism. And these are the different ways to engage with ANPA. Let me see if Dr. Cliff is joining us yet. Ayo, could you let me know when Dr. Cliff is on board? Thank you very much. This is a combined financial webinar between ANPA and the ANPA Foundation. We do have these quarterly webinars, sometimes monthly, depending on needs. It's normally at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time in the US. It's only for 1 hour. It is an intentional aggregation of subject matter experts. We guarantee this the highest and best use of your time. It is free to ANPA members to share. The webinar will be recorded as it's being recorded right now. And all the webinar recordings can be found on the ANPA's own YouTube page at ANPA National. So if you go to our YouTube page, you can watch all the previous webinars as well. I don't know if Dr. Eke is on before we get going. I know he's in a board meeting. I just left ANPA board meeting, so it's a little tricky right now. So, all right. With that, let's see where we at. Well, let's talk about so the disclaimer here, the materials presented at all ANPA webinars is for general education purposes only and is solely the opinion of the presenter. No webinar is intended to provide personalized financial or legal advice. It is left to the discretion and judgment and is the sole responsibility of you to determine what is necessary for your own practice or your own finances. Neither the speaker or ANPA can be held responsible for the materials or opinions or any inadvertent errors or omissions in the preparation and presentation of the material. Further, nothing in the material should be construed as an endorsement by ANPA. That is very important. Dr. Cliff Eke is still waiting on you, and he's not here. Let me talk about ANPA. He's on ANPA represents over 8,000 physicians and dentists and allied healthcare professionals. ANPA is 30 years old. We're a reputable organization, the most robust Nigerian physician organization in the world currently. So without further ado, I would like to give the platform to our presenter, Mr. Olushon. Could you unmute yourself?
Thank you, Dr. Okor. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Olushon Ofiswe, and I'm the head of business development and investor relations for Arkland Group. We are happy to partner with ANPA and ANPA Foundation. We've been following events at the organization right from the beginning of the year. And we're looking forward to your next conference, which will be holding in Nigeria. Arkland is very, very interested in partnering with you and ensuring that the benefits of the association is brought to bear when your members will be fully on ground in Lagos, Nigeria. Having said that, I'd like to quickly go into the presentation. We have a video for you just to, as an intro, for you to see what Eko Atlantic looks like.
Hello, my name is Leslie Christina, and I am here in Eko Atlantic City, and I am taking a walk.
Can you hear the audio?
A beautiful stroll next
Yes,
to
please.
Atlantic Ocean. Now, can you imagine having dinner with your family, and then after you eat your food, you're like, hey, let's go for a stroll. And this is what you get to stroll next to, the ocean, with a nice, cool ocean breeze. And that Eko Atlantic is a highly walkable or joggable area. So there's plenty of space for you and your family. When I say space, I mean sidewalks for you all to run, play, frolic, whatever you want to do. Because guess what? You're in Eko Atlantic, and I was living here. I'll be frolicking as well. Look at this beautiful view.
Okay, so getting into the presentation, investment opportunities at Eko Atlantic City. I'd like to first give a little intro to what brought about Eko Atlantic City. The city was brought about as in order to solve a problem that was faced with that VI was facing at the time. The persistent flooding was what birthed Eko Atlantic City, which ensured that technology was brought to bear to ensure that the flooding problem was solved. And that was also what gave birth to the new city. And I always said that from the slide about Arkland, we're a permanent organization at the forefront of Nigeria's real estate sector. We have a couple of subsidiaries, starting with Arkland Properties and Investment Company Limited, ASL Contractors Limited, and APIC Managers. We're a 360-degree group that ensures that we solve real estate problems in Nigeria and beyond. And what's our conceptual definition? We pride ourselves in saying that the Arkland way is built on the promise of tomorrow, and we believe in creating value for our stakeholders and redefining standards. Next slide, sir. Next slide, please. So Arkland Properties and Investment Company was birthed in 2013, was registered in 2013. The slide before this. And we started development in 2014. And in the brief period that we've been existing, we're over 10 years now in existence as a company. We've done 13 projects successfully without any record of abandonment. We don't have any history of abandoning any project, and clients pride in the fact that doing business with us has always been a huge return on investment for them. Currently, we are the biggest developer in Eko Atlantic City. We're running 4 projects concurrently, which I'm going to be talking to you about in the course of this presentation. And we have 2 other projects outside Eko Atlantic City. So in all, we have about 769 units, apartments that are ongoing. Currently, we are big on medium-rise, high-rise projects, and that's over the years from what we've been doing before. We've transited into a major force when it comes to construction of high-rise buildings in Nigeria. The next slide, please, sir. So given in retrospective, some of the projects that we've done in the last 10 years started with our first project in VI, the Diolu estate called Grace Court, 12 units of luxury apartments. That was delivered in 2017. That also gave birth to a lot of projects within VI and Ikoyi. And like I said, we've done 13 successfully. We have Fabian Court in Ikoyi, just by Reed Baker Hotel. We have Vantage Court in prime location on VI, that's off Josie Adiogu Street. And our latest project that was just launched, commissioned last year, November, is La Paz Apartments, which contains of 40 apartments, which are 23-bedroom apartments, and we have 4 apartments on the 10th floor. And these are all some of the pictures of the projects that we've done successfully in the last 10 years. Next slide, please. So for the reason why we have actually brought this together, and let me also mention that Arkland also forayed into coming into the diaspora market just last month. We were in the US for a period of 3 weeks, and we moved from one major city to another. We had 3 major locations. We started with Atlanta, and we went over to Houston, and we also were in DC. And we had very good reception, trying to let people understand the market in Nigeria, especially the real estate market in Eko Atlantic City. Because we're a formidable force in the city, we are projecting the city at every opportunity that we have. And what makes the city unique is some of the things that is on the slide that you have currently. Like you said, Eko Atlantic City is a coastal city being built in Victoria Island in a period of about 16 years. It has solved the problem of flooding in VI, and now it has become a major hub for investors in Nigeria. The Great Wall of Lagos, which serves as the backbone of the Atlantic City, protects the city as well as Victoria Island. Then it is unique because of its advanced infrastructure. The land, the road construction, the drainage system is second to none currently in Lagos. And if you recall, for a lot of people that know the history of Banana Island, it just became the same way Eko Atlantic is growing right now. And at every opportunity that we have to share this, we let people understand that early comers enjoy the benefit of coming in at a time like this. We have very few buildings currently in the city, even though a lot of the lands have been bought. And when I get to the point where we have to also talk about the major embassies, there's the largest US consulate that is currently being built in Eko Atlantic City. And the project is really advanced. It's meant to be delivered in 2027. So a whole lot is going on in the city. I'm aware that the Israeli embassy too has already bought land in the city, and the project is going to commence any moment from now. A lot of diplomatic organizations have land, and the major organizations, MTN, InterSwitch, Airtel, CBN, they all have, even the banks that we have in Nigeria, all have land and have presence in the Atlantic City. And one more important thing that makes the city unique for us is because it's a dollar-based market. I know a lot of people are worried over the years that they are concerned about bringing in dollars and changing the money into Naira, and how do you pull the money out of the market? That doesn't happen here. So you're able to store your value because our projects are already priced in dollars. And so for value, it's a dollar-based market, so you get value and you're able to store your value. And of course, the returns have been very, very impressive over the years. Next slide, please. Why invest with Arkland? I'm proud to say that we are the first purely indigenous real estate company to develop at Eko Atlantic City, having done a lot of projects in VI and Ikoyi, even in Abuja, and we've proven ourselves to be a force to be reckoned with. We forayed into the city, and at the time when we moved in, just a little bit around COVID period, a lot of people thought it could not be done. But I'm proud to tell you that today we have 4 projects running concurrently. Our flagship project, which I'll be explaining to you later on, is already, the superstructure is fully done, the 27-level building. And I'm also proud to let you know that our office is currently within that building. We're on the 3rd floor of that complex. So why do people do business with us? Over the years, because of our choice of prime locations, people have enjoyed fantastic returns on investment. And if you meet anybody that has a project or that bought something in times past from Arkland, they will tell you that with Arkland, you're guaranteed minimum 60 to 70% return on investment. Our history of non-abandoned project puts us in a very good position because over the years we have done projects and people say that, look, you can be sure that Arkland, they're going to finish whatever they've started, and that has been our story. Now we also have a world-class construction team. We've transited from low-rise buildings to say that, okay, to do the kind of construction we're doing, we need to bring in people that have the expertise. And what have we done? What we've done differently is to bring in people from Dubai, from Lebanon, from different parts of the country, of the world that have experience in this, because Eko Atlantic City in itself, by the time it's completed, is going to be a mirror of Dubai, or it's going to be like Dubai. So we brought in that world-class construction team, and the quality of what they're putting out or what we're building, it's second to none. You just cannot but experience it if you come on ground to Nigeria to see what we're doing. And I must also mention that our developers' integrity and financial prudence is also what distinguishes us from other developers. I know that, during that period when we're around in the US, we got a lot of tales from people who've had experiences here and there, but with Arkland, it's different. We stick to whatever we are planned to do, and because we are prudent in our financial management, it reflects on the quality of the job that we're doing. So to further buttress that, you have nothing to worry about. Your money is safe with us. The way we do our business, we conduct our business, and each project is running concurrently on its own budget. So that's why when you come into any of our projects, you find out that work is going on, because we also have strategically positioned ourselves with the kind of clientele base that we work with. And moving on to this, these are the projects we want to present to you today. 4 are in Eko Atlantic City, 2 are outside the city in Ikoyi. We have A&A Tower, we have Phoenix Tower, we have The Hive. And outside the city is 54 Glover, which is on the popular Glover Road in Ikoyi, and Bijou in Banana. Next slide, sir. Okay, so this slide gives you a brief location map of what Eko Atlantic City looks and where our projects are located. A&A Tower from the map is our flagship project. It's a 27-level tower, and that's where our office is located currently. The success of that project was what birthed Phoenix Tower, which is our second project, which is also going on. It's going to be on A&A Tower, is a 23-level project. Phoenix Tower is on 27 levels, and currently we're already halfway. We're on the 16 level now, moving on, progressing to rounding up on the superstructure and starting with the finishing. The success of Phoenix Tower was what birthed Phoenix Rising. And lastly, we have The Hive, which is strategically located beside the largest US embassy. The next slide, sir. So here's a cross-section of what we have at A&A Tower. Like I said, it's a 23-level high-rise building. I must also say that the units in A&A Tower, they are already 95% sold. So we have maybe just like 5% of units on the upper floors that are just available for sale. And currently we're at finishing level. We started the cladding. On that slide, you can see the current status. We've already done the priming for the building, the paint work, the priming for the for the painting. The swimming pool is in place. Our office is on the 3rd floor. We've already started cladding, external cladding. We started with MEP work, mechanical and electrical has already started in most of the levels. And this project is to be delivered next year. So if you still want to cash in on a project that wants to come into the market fully by next year, A&A Tower is a project that you can invest in. Next slide, please. This is Phoenix Tower. Phoenix Tower has a composition of 2 variants of 3-bedroom apartment. In the last slide, I mentioned that A&A Tower has a composition of 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom. But the units that are available now are the 2-bedroom and the 3-bedroom. But for Phoenix Tower, we have a composition of 3-bedroom apartments, 195 square meters, which is about 2,000, slightly above 2,000 square feet, and 215 square meters, which is slightly above 2,300 square feet. And it's a 27-level masterpiece. Like I said, the project is already midway. We're on the 16th floor now. And before the end of the year, we should, or by the first quarter of next year, we should be rounding up with the superstructure. The third project we're presenting to you is the Hive, which is a 14 residential floor building. It's a mid-rise project, and it's well positioned by the U.S. consulate. And let me also mention that a lot of influx that Eko Atlantic is enjoying today is also as a result of a lot of embassies that are coming in. And U.S. consulate is right on the way and is meant to be delivered in 2027. So if you're looking at a project that allows you to enjoy some investment, and having said that, I mean, what we're looking at for is people wanting to have a legacy apartment in Nigeria. For whatever reason, you come to do business in Nigeria. ANPA is coming in next year, and I still believe that they will have other conferences. So for reasons of investment or having something in Nigeria, Eko Atlantic is a highly secured environment. It's a place where the infrastructure is almost like what you have in any other part of the world where you're currently living. So that is why we are bold to sell the city. So the Hive is going to be ready in 2027, just about the same time when the U.S. consulate should be completed. Next slide, sir. And I mean, we have a composition of 3-bedroom apartments and 4-bedroom maisonettes at the Hive. The square feet have already been included in the slides, which we'll make available. So what this picture is just to give you a pictorial view of exactly where the Hive is located. The project is where you have the cranes, the yellow crane, and just across the road where you have the blue scaffolds is where you have the ongoing U.S. Embassy. So like we say, we are just next neighbors to the U.S. consulate. And this project has also gained a lot of patronage. And let me also mention that what has made Arkland different is the way we go about our projects. We do a lot of strategic marketing, and we have gained a lot of confidence from various groups in Nigeria. A lot of our clientele base are from the oil sector, and they come in groups because they take advantage of the bulk purchases that we always put in the market. And so as we're doing this, we're looking at working also with ANPA as a group to say that, okay, for ANPA members, we could curate this and to say that, okay, this works within this period or this discount period or this offer period. And ANPA will be partnering with ANPA on that basis. So that's one of the major successes we've enjoyed in the market. And I mean, you'll be surprised at the number of groups that we have in various projects, from the clientele base that we've enjoyed from Shell, from Total Energies, from Chevron as a group, and from lately, Shell. I've already mentioned Shell. ExxonMobil, these are some of our major clients. Other investment opportunities that we have outside Eko Atlantic are in Glover Road and Banana Island. The next slide, sir. So, I mean, this slide just basically talks about why people still invest in Ikoyi. For a lot of people, they're just sentimental about, they don't want to stay anywhere other than Ikoyi. If you fall within that category, why not? We have a project on the popular Ikoyi Road, Glover Road, which is just off Alfred Iwani, which is a popular road that connects Ikoyi to Victoria Island. And I mean, Ikoyi too has also continued to enjoy a lot of returns on investment over the years, just the same way Eko Atlantic has been well positioned to take over that market. But I mean, if for sentimental reasons you want to be in Ikoyi, we have a project for you. Next slide, please. So this is 54 Glover. It's our project on Glover Road, aside some of the other projects that we've delivered in Ikoyi. Fabian Court is one of the major ones just by the popular Whitbaker Hotel. And it's been there for 3-4 years with almost like 100% occupancy rate. So 54 Glover is going to be a mid-rise project too on about 12 floors. And we're done with the foundation. Have 3 variants of 3-bedroom apartments. One is 202 square meters, which is 2,174 square feet. We have a 3-bedroom that is for 2,260 square feet, and another one that is 2,347 square feet. Of course, it's carefully designed for people that just want to make Ikoyi their home address. And when you pass through the place or you have opportunities to visit the site, we call it Visit 54 Glover, your next home address. The next project is Bijou, which is on the popular Banana Island. And the design of this project is going to stand out as a remarkable project in Banana Island. So that's what we have for projects outside Eko Atlantic. And of course, we have 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartments, and a maisonette in Bijou. Next slide, sir. Are your buildings safe from government demolition? Absolutely. So, I mean, one of the worries that we know that a lot of people have outside the country has been some of the reoccurrences that had happened in times past. But what makes us different and what makes building with Arkland different is because of the strict scrutiny that all our designs go through. First, let me say that a lot of our designs are done by world-class companies outside the country. The renowned Richard Eade is one of the people that do most of our designs. And our structural designs are from OTC France, which is a major company that is known worldwide for structural designs. And again, because the way the city has been done, projects have to go through the third parties to also supervise. So you find out that you can't even just build anyhow in Eko Atlantic, apart from having to set up a world-class construction company that has a capacity and the technical know-how to do the kind of projects you want to do. You are also under strict supervision. So there's nothing to worry about is this building going to fall? Our buildings are not going to fall because of the strict codes that we follow and the supervision that all these things undergo. And having said that too, of course, from time to time, at every interval, at every stage of the construction, we go through the necessary testing. What are our average prices? This is another interesting slide in the presentation that I've said people are happy to do business with us. Either you're buying for personal use or you're buying because you want to invest. You buy any of Arkland projects at a good price and you're sure of cashing out. Our A&A Tower, which started sometime just shortly after the COVID period, we came into the market at about 360. It was an open market that we did. And currently, you cannot get any units for a 2-bedroom for anything less than $503K. And let me also mention that these prices are still way below some of the other prices you tend to get in the city, which positions Arkland as a force to be reckoned with in the city. Our 3-bedroom apartments are currently at $652,000. And from the time of inception to now, those that are bought have enjoyed 45% in terms of returns. Moving on to Phoenix Tower, we started it out at $365K, and currently each of the, please, I still want to be on that slide. Currently, a 3-bedroom on that project is about $505. The same thing with Hive. Hive is already, we're done with the foundation work. We're done with the piling. We're now the foundation work. The fence is being constructed and the building is going to begin to come off ground. The bulk purchases that we did at $325,000 is currently at $390K. And so for people that bought between that period and now, already they have realized 20% returns on their investment. So likewise for the projects that we have in 54 Glover, they're also coming off ground. 54 Glover is already at the foundation work. Bijou is already on the 4th level. It's going to be on 16 levels. So either way you want to look at it, you want to buy for a short-let apartment, or you want to buy to have a legacy apartment at home, or you want to buy for rental basis, which I've also indicated the prices that are currently ongoing, which are verifiable in the market, you are sure of making money with Arkland. Next slide, sir. So these are some of the frequently asked questions that we get from time to time, and I've been able to put a few together so that, as we round up this presentation, I will take some of your questions. What projects have the developer and construction company done before? You can refer to our website. I mentioned earlier that we've done 13 projects successfully in various locations in Lagos and Abuja. What's the expected duration of our project? That is project specific. So depending on the project that you want to come on, we'll draft an offer letter for you, and the offer letter will stipulate when that project will be delivered. Through what medium will the payments be made? We have dedicated accounts, so you're going to be paying directly to Arkland. What impact will the exchange rate have on the project? Zero impact. I must also mention that Arkland was one of the very few companies that had seen ahead to begin to sell in dollars. And I must tell you that that has already positioned us and edged us from what had happened in terms of the Naira fluctuation. Our subscribers protect themselves against variation orders from contractors. Our apartment prices are hedged in dollars, so zero variation on price. Therefore, there's no variation from the client. Next FAQ, sir. What type of title document shall subscribers receive? The deed of assignment, an allocation reference to governor's consent. How would the units be allocated? For those that are bought, allocation is done on first buy, first serve basis. So for whatever units that we have remaining, that's what we're going to be offering you, and we're going to be allocating to you. How many car parking spaces do we have per flat? 2 parking spaces for each apartment. And all our buildings are meant to cater for the necessary amenities. You have a swimming pool, a restaurant, fully fitted gym, concert services to serve the residents, sit-out area, lounges, and the sauna. What's the documentation fee? It's 1.5% of the purchase price. And next slide, sir. So, and what's the current rental price at Eko Atlantic? That's been indicated in an earlier slide, 35,000 to 45,000. And let me also mention that because what we have in terms of supply in the city is very few, so the demand already ensures that prices are very good for whoever is invested. What's the current selling price for apartments in Eko Atlantic City? For Arkland projects, which our prices are still the most competitive, what you get for a 1-bedroom to a 3-bedroom is between $270K to $652K. And we will maintain the building. I always say that there's nobody that knows a building better than the person that has constructed or developed it. But Arkland would appoint a facility management company with a proven track record to undertake the maintenance of all our facilities. And I would like to dwell on this a lot because I know that part of the question we also got in the US is our post-construction plan. Let me tell you that this is well catered for, because we realize that a lot of people are based in the US or they're based outside the country. We will provide a lot of add-on services for you. You want to rent your apartment when it is fully completed or handed over, Arkland can take responsibility and assist you in doing that. You want it to on a short-let basis, we can get involved in that. The entire post-construction period, we're going to be fully involved. So we're not just building to say that we've handed over the apartment to you, and that's it. No, we're going to be fully involved all the way after the property has been delivered. What are the fire safety provisions? All the international standard safety protocols are being adhered to, because that is the standard in Eko Atlantic City. And let me also mention that is why it's also a bit difficult for a lot of people to come into the city, because the standards are high. So where the standards are high, you must be able to raise up the standard to ensure that you're able to play within that space. And to what extent will the apartment be finished? It will be fully finished without furniture. Next slide, sir. I earlier mentioned this. So these are our clientele base: Shell, Chevron, Total Energies, ExxonMobil, Seplat. These are all the people that have done business with us and they are happy with us. And currently they are on their way to getting their units or apartments delivered to them. You can contact us at our office. We'll schedule an inspection to come to where we reside currently, and that is one of our major projects. That's in our flagship project in Eko Atlantic City. We're on the 3rd floor, A&A Tower, the Oceanfront District in VI. And that's my email address, and that of my colleague, who is also on this. I have 2 of my colleagues on this presentation. That's Modupe and Radishola. We have our phone numbers there. You can reach out to us. Next slide, sir. I think the audio is not, the video is not audible. I'm not sure anybody heard. The sound wasn't.
For example, in Eko Atlantic City, is to develop 20% of the city. That means in our lifetimes, we will not be able to develop that. It will pass on to the next generation. But one thing the scripture tells us is that he always does exceedingly abundantly more than what we can ask or think. So I would say, expect the unimaginable.
Thank you. So I always like to end most of my presentations with that video from my MD, who is the group CEO, who's also the group CEO of Arkland Group, Mr. Jideolu Modimo. Our vision is to build 20% of Eko Atlantic City, and we've already started. And we are here to stay for a long, long, long time. So you can cash in and you can get on the train, and you can also partner with us, become a stakeholder with us, and we look forward to having you on board. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Okoro.
Oleshun, thank you very much for the wonderful presentation and being on time, finishing on time. Please, as usual for ANPA Foundation financial webinars, you can unmute yourself and ask your questions, or you can text it to me, or you can leave it on the chat. We are right on time. We started on time. We will finish on time as always. So anybody can ask their own question. Just unmute yourself. It's a free webinar right now.
Thank you, Dr. Okoro. I have a question with regards to returns. So I know some of us, some people have some investments, like investment property in Dubai, in like hotel. You buy the suites for $400,000, and you are getting like 15%, and it's guaranteed income. It comes to you because it's always 100% occupied. So you buy this property in Lagos, and if maybe I didn't hear what you guys were saying, is it like when you buy, your automatical return of investment comes to you, somebody manages it, or everything is done by you who bought the property? Because for the one I just talked about, some hotel property in Dubai, they control everything from management to everything. What they just do, you get your return back to your account. So, and you don't even struggle. Anything, they repair everything, they do everything. It's well organized. So, the first group. So, is this something that is similar, that you don't even have to? You just go and sleep and start getting your money, or you still have to, market it yourself, rent it yourself? Or sorry, I didn't hear. Maybe that was said before I came in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that question, sir. Yes. So what I had mentioned is that because of the way our projects are structured, people that buy in at the inception, they enjoy the early commerce price. So while the project is also going on and the prices are going up, because prices are not static. Already, even before the project is delivered, you're already seeing some gains to whatever you bought. That's the explanation I was trying to make. So at the time the project is delivered, you can now fully appreciate what you have enjoyed in terms of the return from what you paid when you were buying the units and what people are now trying to buy at full delivery are trying to pay for. That's on one hand. That's one part of the question you had asked. Now, the second part is that what services are we going to provide? Yes, I'd mentioned that Arkland is not going to abandon you along the way. We're going to be fully involved in the post-construction activities that have to do with the project. So when you talk about facilities management, when you talk about you want to rent the apartment, like the similar company the company you mentioned about in Dubai, we can provide that service. I would love to provide that service and work with you. So knowing the fact that a lot of the people that are going to be buying from this group are not resident in Nigeria, that's some of the services we can render. I hope I've answered your question, sir.
So, LaShawn, there is a question on the chat. It says, would there be an HOA, like a homeowners association? And then that's the first question. The second question was regarding policy towards short letting and concerns of security if you're renting your place with different people renting it and things like that. I don't know if you understand or you can ask your own question.
Okay, so we make provision for homeowners to be involved in post-management construction, in the post-management activities. So definitely, yes, there are possibilities for homeowners to come together to look at how best we can work with them and they can work with us to ensure that the property keeps running. Having said that, in terms of security, there is currently no place that is as secured as Eko Atlantic for various reasons. The kind of investments that are being put there currently, each building, apart from the general surveillance that goes on in the city and surveillance that is even on the sea, there is adequate provision for security. So for all our projects, for instance, people are going to be screened. There's a major entrance into the building. You cannot go in until, so a lot of access codes are going to be introduced, just like what we have elsewhere all over the world. So in terms of security, I want to say that you don't have anything to worry about. That is aside the general security of the entire Eko Atlantic City.
There is another question on chat. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Dele. I'm in Lagos. I just left Eko Atlantic. There's a lot of sand now, construction going on. I came this past weekend. Now, what I want to ask is, maybe you already did it in the past because I came late. The foundation, the concretization of the base of that place. Are we safe from the Atlantic Ocean? Atlantic is there. Lagos State is building a lot of bricks and concrete all over there. How are the people in Eko Atlantic going to be sure of safety 30 years from now?
Okay, that's a good question, sir. And the simplest way for me to answer that question is Eko Atlantic City for developers is not for new entrants. When I say new entrants, I'm saying that in terms of the money that is sunk even into the piles that goes into the foundation, it's enough to build in some other places a mini estate. So the volume of the magnitude of the project that we're doing and what goes into those foundations, I must tell you that it's a lot of work. And if you don't have the expertise, there's really, really no way you can even get off the ground. So for a company that has 4 projects running concurrently, is because so far, with a lot of developers' prudence and financial integrity, we've been able to ensure that we curate and introduce systems that allow at every point in time our projects to run. And I say this boldly because we don't do it alone. We do it also in conjunction with the concessionaires of the city. That's South Energies and Eko Atlantic Management Company, who have also brought in a lot of supervision. I must mention to you that sometime last year, for a whole period of about 6 months, we had to resubmit all the drawings that had been submitted before, just for everybody to be at peace and to be sure that each developer that was building at that time was doing the right thing. And like I said, we have the biggest number of projects currently. So the PALs go into the ground. They are designed by world-class companies. And aside the design, which goes, there's a third party that supervises at every stage of construction. So every milestone, they come in, checks are being done. So you can't even, it's not for just anybody that just thinks, look, I want to enter into real estate development. You must have the expertise to be able to build in Eko Atlantic City.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I see a question that I want to quickly take, Dr. Okoro, please pardon me, which I don't think I really mentioned. I didn't mention, yes, during the presentation. What are the payment options? Yes, this is one major area that has also encouraged a lot of people in the way we do our own business and we develop. Arkland has a lot of flexible payment plans. So we are always willing to work with our subscribers to see that, yes, come to us, talk to us, what works for you. We can work out a plan for you because ultimate goal is we're trying to solve a problem. And in solving a problem, which is a housing problem or a housing need, we are ready to work with you in terms of what your financials can carry at that time. So our payment options are flexible. They are instrumental. You don't have to bring in all the money. Of course, if you bring in all the money at the go, we'll collect it. We are more than willing to. But if you want to do a flexible plan that allows you to pay at every stage of a development to say that, okay, I want to run a quarterly payment or the way my cash flow is, I want to do something that I can give you a bulk payment now, do another one in another 3-4 months. Yes, we can. So we are open to that. Thank you very much.
Sean, before we continue on additional discussion, I do want to recognize our ANPA National President, Dr. Cliff Eke, who is actually in multiple board meetings as we speak. He just want to say hello and he can jump up. Oga Cliff.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Okoro, for putting this together, you and ANPA Foundation, every quarter or so. And this is a benefit to ANPA members and beyond. Also, Oga Sheung and Arkland, I want to thank you. Yeah, I want to thank you for presenting, not just presenting today, for actually supporting ANPA. Even before we met you, you supported our Anaheim convention, and also a partner and support for next year, 2025, when we come to Nigeria for our mission and convention. So I really appreciate that. Eko Atlantic, I've heard so much about it. It's a place to be. It's actually one of even the largest U.S. embassy in the world. It's being built there. There's a lot of businesses being built there. It's going to be a top-notch thing. My encouragement or my suggestion, which you kind of addressed briefly about financing. Most of us in America here, we don't do cash and carry, you know. We have so many other responsibilities. Families, not just here, but in Nigeria, as you know, with bad economy, we're sending money all the time. So payment plan that is reasonable with not so much high interest will appeal to most of us to get a piece of your property. And thank you again. And I will leave because I'm in another meeting. I'm in an ANPA board meeting as well as in a seminar here in California, but wonderful.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So thank you, Dr. Eke, for joining. Olusegun, I guess to expand Dr. Eke's question is about, as you're very familiar with the American system in terms of financing, partnering with maybe a financial partner to finance a project where we can pay. You mentioned you have some partners in oil and gas, you know, those big boys and big ballers. Well, some of us are not like that. So is it something that you can arrange something with a bank like Fidelity or UBA or Zenith to kind of finance it so we can pay on a monthly basis, that kind of stuff? That's the question, really.
Okay, so we're open to a lot of options, and then like we also have our own major primary bank that we use. We're also opening up a lot of other channels, talking to some other financial institutions on how to make it easy for our subscribers to key into their desired legacy apartment. So I mean, it will be very interesting as partners to ANPA to say that, okay, if you're coming up with a group list to say that this number of people based on this webinar, and by the time it's also being shared, are interested in keying into some of our projects. And on that basis, we can now start those conversations and we'll take it to the next level. So it's something that is doable.
Okay. There's a lot of discussion on the chat, and it is a robust discussion. I'm happy to actually announce that Dr. Wasiu Adisa is a co-host for this. He is the current ANPA chair for Georgia. You met him, so he's online as well. He is going to assist me with the ongoing discussion as I'm actually going to be going back to the ANPA board meeting. I'm actually in a meeting in Atlanta. So I think there's a lot of discussion, and I want you to be able to address all of these questions. Normally, we will end this at 1 o'clock, but these are very important questions on the chat. And Oluseun, I think you should look at the chat and answer those questions. Of course, any ANPA member has the right, and you can ask your own question, unmute yourself and ask this question. Dr. Adisa, are you ready to take over from me? You're muted right now.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Oluseun, thanks for the presentation. And
good to see you again.
Yes, sir. Good to see you. Great presentation. A lot to look forward to with this investment. And want to greet everyone else that is online. So we will continue the discussion. And just like Dr. Okoro had said, there's a lot of discussion, there's a lot of questions, and let's see how we could get through each and every one of them for a solution. Thank you. So let's go on. So going back to the financing question, I guess it will be important for us, solution, if you could come back and actually give us the way it will work, what bank we could use, what are the rates, because that's how we make our decision here in the United States. We're able to walk into a bank and they could let us know what we qualify for, what rates we could get, and then we submit paperwork and then we go from there. So it'd be nice if we have those information, because that will help with the decision making. All
right, that's well noted. We need to document as the fallout of this webinar. We're going to be writing ANPA officially to make a presentation and send you a proposal. And I think that would be a better way to take this further. So with the proposal, decisions can now start, can be taken, and I mean, that can also be shared with members to see how it works for them.
Okay, so let's, thank you so much. So let's take another question that our guest has submitted, our members have submitted. There's a question that's asked, are there any kind of property insurance available, and what is the cost? In addition, what are the assurance that these high-rise buildings will not collapse? I think you addressed that, but just kindly address that again.
All right, so I'd earlier addressed that in the presentation to say that the third-party supervision that projects undergo in Eko Atlantic makes it difficult for any mushroom company to come and build in Eko Atlantic City. So we go through all that scrutiny, and we go through the regular testing with the authorities from time to time. Those are the legislated authorities to ensure that the materials are being used. But more importantly, we also have construction insurance for all our projects, which is to give comfort to whoever is putting money down. So as far as our buildings are concerned, none of our buildings is going to collapse. When you come into any of Arkland structure or any Arkland construction, without even coming in, from merely looking at the building, the quality of the blocks we use are also completely different. We use C45 grade blocks. There's a video that I'll also be sharing with the association on how we do our own construction. It's completely different from what you get to see around. And because we're not building just as any other developer, we're building as a world-class company.
Okay. All right, thank you. The next question that I would like to ask on behalf of our member is there an anticipated yearly rate of return when the project is done?
So I can only give you a projection, which is what I've done based on where we started from and where we are, to say that for people that bought when we started, currently for the prices that we're going to put out forward as of today, this is what the prices look like. And that means for those that had bought earlier on, if they're putting up any of their units on the market today, that is what they're going to enjoy as a return on investment. To say that, okay, by the time the project is delivered, absolutely, there's still return on investment in another 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, depending on the length that to take to construct any particular project that you're keen for the returns, for the yields to still materialize. And that, I must say, has been the testimonial from a lot of people that have bought properties from us.
Okay, very good, thank you. And for those who are online, if this is your question that we are asking, if you think you want additional explanation, please raise your hand, chime in, so you could get a more specific answer to your question. I think this next question is very important to all of us. This is an ANPA presentation. So the question is, do you have a group discount for ANPA members? If you do, how does that work? Do we come in at once? Or if an ANPA member comes 2 years from now, can they get the same group rate? How does that work? Kindly explain that. Okay,
so the best way for me to answer that question for now is to say that we've started this journey with ANPA, and it's a journey that will continue. We're looking forward to your next conference. And the whole essence is also to say that we want to work with ANPA as a group. So, I mean, individuals are also free to reach us. But so if members are coming in to say that, yes, as a fallout of this presentation, we get 30 names after this presentation that are on the list of ANPA to say that, yeah, these 30 people have indicated interest, conversations can be held, and this can be properly fine-tuned. That's the best way for me to answer that question for now.
And I am assuming that you'll be working with one of us on the ANPA side to make sure that this list is collated properly, so that we know that we have the right number of people. How would you work that out? How would that work?
Okay, so I'm actually throwing that open as a suggestion. So it's for us to also look at that suggestion to say that, okay, on the basis of if it's at the national level, that we're going to coordinate that to say that residents or at the chapter level. But the important thing is conversation already going on with the national body. And if that list is made available, I mean, since there's still going to be a proposal as a fallout of this webinar, these are things that we can fine tune.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I think this next question is very important. You know, a lot of us leave home and we leave behind cultures, names, and things that we're familiar with. And then we come to the United States or UK, and then we see a lot of names that we're not familiar with. So the question goes like this. Why can't the names of the building be indigenous? I know there's some concerns with marketing buildings with ethnocentric names, but these English names smells of colonial mentality. Take it away, sir.
I read that. So let me say that I'll just take that as a feedback. We are open to feedbacks, and I'll take it as a feedback from this meeting, and I'll report that to my management to say that, I mean, it's also good in future that we have some names we've taken the feedback, sir.
Okay. All right. So I'll be looking forward to some changes in names. I think that might encourage more of us to come and say, hey, let's sit down and talk. So take that back to your Oga. The next question is, do you have any information on the surrounding area? Is there buy-in from other companies like shopping, food centers, etc.?
Absolutely. So the city is well planned. I didn't mention the fact that we have 10 districts in Eko Atlantic City. Our projects are spanned around 3 or 4 districts currently, and it's still going to expand. We have something on the oceanfront district. We have in downtown district. We have in the avenues where you have the diplomatic area. We have other districts that are just going to be purely commercial. We have areas that are just mixed development. So as we speak, there's a major entertainment center and a mall, a shopping mall, sorry, that is ongoing just by the road on Amadou Bello Way. So to answer that question directly, the city in its planning has catered for all this, and it's going to be able to survive and be self-sufficient on its own.
Okay. All right. This is a very important question. Does the property have parkings for their residents and for guests who are coming? Are there adequate parkings for guests, residents, visitors, shoppers, etc.?
Absolutely, sir. We made provision for 2 parking lots for each subscriber and 10% contingency for visitors. And in case you even still want additional parking, that can also be discussed. Okay. Outside the 2 parking lots that go with each unit.
And if I'm interested in selling my stake in my investment, what is the process?
So those are conversations that you need to hold with us to let us know that, okay, I'm buying for this purpose, and these are my plans. This is what I want to do with the property. What are you buying for? That's the typical question I always ask anybody. So based on that, yes, we can work with you on that. I mean, rather than sell when you still know that your property can give you, I make bold to say that a 3-bedroom in some other development in the Eko Atlantic City is going for 900K, and ours is still at 650. So the end point, and I will not say it's still the end point, so you still have that latitude to even still enjoy that return, because the city is not going to continue to remain this way. The moment the U.S. consulate started, it changed the entire conversation. And I'm happy that one of the participants at this webinar had also mentioned that he visited the city. So a lot is going on currently.
Okay. So one of the questions I want to ask is, if I sit down with you today and I'm interested in one of the projects, is there a minimum requirement for down payment? That's one question. 2, how often are you expecting me to make payment? And must payment be complete at the time the project is ending, or can the payment go on after the project ended? Do you understand my question?
I get your question correctly.
And the other part of that question is, how long does that process take from beginning and acquisition? Like, this property is yours, this is your address, this is your unit number, and then you keep watching the completion of your project. Okay.
So typically for all the projects that we've done, initial deposits is usually between 25 to 30%. In some cases where the project is already advanced, we collect more than that, because you can't be paying 30% for a project that is still at foundation level and paying the same 30% for a project that will be delivered next year. There are different levels of construction and of finishing. But having said that, yes, and again, in terms of flexible payments, yes, you can tell us if you want to be doing a monthly payment based on the unit that you're picking and whatever balance you need to make after your initial deposit. We can look at it and agree on a payment plan for you and what works for you. But more importantly, because we are interested in working with the group, these are things that we would love to fine tune so that everybody that keys in also benefits from whatever the group is getting as a package.
So are you saying that if for ANPA is concerned, if we come in as a group, there's a particular project that we all as a group will invest into, or can different person or different people pick their own projects? But yet,
You can be on different projects, I mean, based on preferences, but we know that they fall under subscribers that are coming in from ANPA. And on that basis, so whatever we're discussing, whatever benefits that ANPA is going to get, those subscribers can also enjoy it.
Okay. So going back to the chat board, and I'm not sure whether we answered this question, but the question is, are there requirements in order to invest?
So when that question is not clear, when you say requirement, what kind of requirements would the person be referring to?
So I could only draw from what we do here. Requirement would be you have a certain amount, certain income, you have to make a certain down payment, you have to show proof of income. That's what I could draw from that question. Erica, if you're online and you want to add to your question, let me know, or you want to chime in. The question came from Erica.
Yeah, that was exactly it, Dr. Adisa. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so basically what we try to do with any subscriber is just to be sure that we get to know you and know that you have the capacity. So the first thing is, after all said and done, we share with you a KYC form, which is to know your customer or intended buyer. And on that basis, we expect that at least we're dealing with somebody that has integrity. So question about people coming in on top of on a project and we're not sure of their source of income is eliminated. And I think on the basis of the fact that if it's ANPA that is collating all that, that has already been taken care of. So to answer that question, if you're coming on the basis of ANPA as a group, sure, that I believe you would have already crossed that ordeal. But if you're coming to us directly, the normal process is for us to first get a form across to you so that we have your details, we know where you reside, what you do, and of course there would have been phone conversations to understand one or two things about where you belong in the profile.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. And I think we're getting towards the end. I think I see two more questions here and a recommendation. First recommendation is, can you post your slide or leave your slide with us so we could share it with our ANPA family? The slide of your presentation. So that's one. And the question that I see here is, does payment have to come from a Nigerian bank account? And have you worked with groups like ANPA before?
So let me start from the last question. This is our first time of working with ANPA. And like Dr. Cliff said, we started this conversation just before the conference in California. And we're happy to have been a partner to the success of that event. And we're looking forward to the next one. So this is the first time we're partnering with ANPA. Incidentally, I got to meet Dr. Adisatu in Atlanta when we visited. So it's a relationship that is blossoming, and we expect that we're going to take it beyond this level. The question before that is, please, can you remind me?
Does payment have to come from a Nigerian bank account?
Not compulsorily. So we have various banks. You can route your payment through wherever you are. We have banks. We have bank accounts that can take payments from wherever you are in the world.
Okay. There was additional questions.
I think the first one.
Are the apartment assigned at initial payment or after completion of payment?
The allocation is done as you come in. So if eventually you come in today, you get the allocation before somebody that is buying tomorrow. And when I say come in, when you're making payments today and you get into the project to say that I'm fully on board, definitely will allocate you a unit.
And I think this next question is similar to the first question that came through, but kindly answer the question for us again. Do you currently manage any units for owners who lease it out or short-term or long-term rentals?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we are a 360-degree group that ensures that beyond the conceptualization of our project, beyond the construction, the facility management and the property management processes, we also are well positioned to take it on.
Okay. I would like to open, those are the questions in the chat, everybody. If you have any additional questions, we're just 10 minutes past 1 o'clock. You could raise your hand, you could unmute yourself, and then we're going to address those questions. So, Mr. Oluseun, it sounds like you have an audience. I'm going to need you to go back to your guy and your people and put together a good proposal for us and make sure that it sounds really good for us. I think that our leadership is interested in partnering with Arkland as members that visit Nigeria often. We also want to invest in our country, in our land, but make the proposal enticing for us, reasonable for you guys, and reasonable for us. And I'm quite sure that you will have ANPA supporting you.
Thank you very much. And I really want to thank this audience for the feedback we received, for being there right from the beginning of the presentation till this time. And we really, really look forward to working with you on your various requests. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. And thank you to everyone who participated today. Thank you to all our leadership in ANPA, Dr. Cliff Eke, who's in the board meeting, Dr. Okoro, the foundation leader, and to each and every one of you, thank you for your time. And you'll be receiving more information and the PowerPoint slide so you can further help in making your decisions. Everyone have a blessed Saturday.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Sure.